Don't be that person who is just going to move with products. That's low. That's low. You have to make sure that you explain to the client, and the client is in a position to remove their money, and they give it to you. Otherwise, these things of you coming on shallow things, they cannot make you money. Last week, no, the other week, I happened to be invited by the Foundation for Liver Health. It is called Liver Health Foundation. And they invited us, Okata, to present to them what our liver care is doing. Your product is working, but how does it work? So I represented you, ladies and gentlemen. And the people I was going to talk to, they were medical doctors. You know a doctor? A doctor studies medicine for 5 years. He adds on another 2 years for internship or one. He put a lot of experience. You are going to teaching them what? So I was invited in that meeting. So I said, now these doctors, what do I tell them? What do I? What they want is not the product per se. They want you to see whether you understand the problem. Now, Liver Health Foundation is dealing in what they call liver health awareness. And so many people are having health issues in regard to the liver. So when I went to them, I could not take them this usual jazz of hours that it will help on the liver. No. If you are going to present that, they said this is a club. And they were, do you know people who were there? There was the regional head for HIV, what? Hepatitis, what? They deal in hepatitis. They were seated. And I was presenter number 4. And they wanted us to articulate matters of national importance in regard to hepatitis. Here they are dealing in hepatitis awareness and liver awareness and what causes it. Now, I went. And the subject matter was, we are discussing the following: the metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease was the disease. The doctor behind knows these things. The new name for the liver, they have changed it into metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease was the subject matter. Tunyonyole, discuss. Those of you who used to do history, they say, discuss. How do you do it? I got any history. Today, it is the disease. Don't come and say liver care. Watch away. They want the logic. Today, I went there and they gave me 10 minutes to present. This is what I presented. I'm going to share with you. And I started as follows. I'm going to be doing for you a recap. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we are coming to discuss about liver problems. But before you go very far, we must understand, what is this liver? Are we together? What is this what? Liver is one of the central organs. It's one of the most important organs in your body. Are we together? And the largest organ in your body. And one of the functions it does, I will mention 3. It does so many functions, like for example, 500 functions, but I'll concentrate on what? On 3 diseases. There are so many diseases that affect the liver, but I'll concentrate on 3. But first of all, understand what its major role. I said number 1, the function of the liver is to produce bile. Why? Because when it produces the bile, it is able to help it in the process of digesting the fats. I will never take it. During digestion, the bile is very functional. And the bile flow is very, very important for the health of the liver. Once it is not there and there's no bile flow, your liver will get issues. And move through the bile duct. And once the bile duct is blocked, there are challenges. Now, what affects the bile flow? There are a number of factors. Our processed foods we are eating. I'm making a preamble. The processed foods we are eating. The alcoholism we are taking. The fatty issue we are facing. The fatty foods we are eating. They damage or they stop the flow of bile. Remember, bile is very important to metabolize what? Fats. Now, where is the problem? The problem, the number one disease is called bile dysfunction. It's called metabolic dysfunction. The first problem with the liver is bile metabolic dysfunction. Now, once the liver is not producing the bile, there is a problem. And once there is a problem, remember when it produces the bile, it stores it in the gallbladder to release when you have eaten your fats to break them down. Now, the first disease of the liver is bile metabolic disorder. It's the first problem of the liver. Why? Once there is no breakdown of fats, you experience a clear monster called insulin resistance. Insulin what? Insulin resistance. And what is insulin resistance? You go ahead to explain to them. Your body is not responding to insulin, which is being produced. And what happens is that instead of sugars going to the cells, it remains in the blood stream. And once it remains in the bloodstream, the liver, the body compensates by producing a lot of insulin. And once there is a lot of sugars in the body, the liver says there is a lot of sugars in the body, it turns the sugars into fats. And once it converts them into fats, you get a fatty liver, ladies and gentlemen. The doctor is behind, is nodding the head. Am I lying, sir? That is how you get insulin resistance and you get a fatty liver. Now, the second disease, there are three diseases I'm going to discuss. Number one, I've told you, metabolic dysfunction, bile metabolic dysfunction. Number two, as a result of insulin resistance, it is called the metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease, which they call fatty liver, which they call non-alcoholic fatty liver. The name has been changed. The name has been changed from non-alcoholic fatty liver disease to metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease. And once you have that, you can be here not taking the alcohol, and they diagnose you with a fatty liver disease. And once there is insulin resistance, there is no breakdown of fats. Instead, there is formation of fats. Get a fatty liver. It's not functioning. And remember, on the bile, it does so many things. It absorbs the fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamin A, D, K. That's its role. Now, it's no longer functioning. And once that happens, the flow of bile slows down. It means you eat, they don't produce bile at the right time. Yeah? You start getting fatigued. You start to get brain fog. You start getting digestional issues, indigestion. You start getting issues of the problems of the stomach. Yet it's starting from there. No, most of the diseases are as a result of metabolism. Remember, as you age, your metabolism slows down. Songa muziwulira. Ndina badokita olwo. Nagenda okuvaayo nga bampita Dr. Fulanga tumwebaze. They even produced a pic. There were journalists. Journalists were there, and they appeared on UBC, and they put Dr. Frank Tumwebaze. Okata Wellness country manager. He said, "The guy, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor." But however, what people want is giving them information. We are in information age. I've told you there are 3 diseases of the liver. We are mentioning the introduction, and I'm giving you the preamble to understand them. It's a metabolic disorder. And once there's a metabolic disorder, you are going to get misdiagnosis. Because of poor bile production, at the end of the day, those guys are going to diagnose you with ulcers. Back where eddagala eryo antacid. Currently, I am treating people very well. Now, as I was presenting, I was telling them, at Okata Wellness Solutions, we have a wonderful product. And that product is called Liver Care, ladies and gentlemen. That liver care is going to help you to help on the flow of the bile very well. And what helps it is curcumin, which comes from turmeric, a biochemical compound. Because what they want the mechanism of action. I'll be sharing with you. The 3rd disease is called cirrhosis. Cirrhosis. The liver has been overworked. And because the liver, the way God made that liver, is soft like a sponge. Now, because of metabolic disorders, because of poor bile flow, the liver undergoes a lot of stress, a long time stress. And what happens to the liver? The liver says enough is enough. It forms a scar. It forms a what? Scar. It forms a scar. And because it forms a scar, it tackles and affects the cells, and the fluids enter in the stomach is what kills people. And they develop what they call a scar, called fibrosis. And finally, the liver, the last stage of the liver, is that one. And it is mostly happens to people who take alcohol. That thing of alcohol. Alcoholic fatty liver, called cirrhosis, the last stage. Alcoholism is one of the factors, but it's not the only factor. There are 5 factors. One of them is called chronic inflammation. Fatty liver is going to cause it. Chronic inflammation, fatty things you are eating. Alcoholism, chronic inflammation of the liver. Eventually, RIP. The scar on the liver is what causes it. In liver care, we have a product called liver care. And there is one of the ingredients in that product called the milk thistle. And in the milk thistle, there is an ingredient called the silimarin. Silimarin is the one that removes the scar and prevents the scar to happen. We are the only ones with that one in the entire Africa. The formation of the scar is what takes you. And at that level, the liver is hard. The liver is stiffened. The stiffness of the liver, and the liver is hard. We are the only ones at that conference. Everybody said, what? They were looking at me like this. I shared with them the flyer, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have. We have a wonderful product called Liver Care, FDA certified, ladies and gentlemen. FDA, do you know FDA? Food and Drug Authority of the United States of America confirmed that this product is very powerful. It is non-GMO. The ingredients there have been studied. There is an ingredient called dandelion. Dandelion in liver care improves liver flow, bile flow, all in one product of Okata Wellness Solutions, ladies and gentlemen. So, in that preamble I've made, we are going to look at the liver. It has many functions. One of them, the first one. Okay, let me read myself. The liver is one of the most vital organs in the human body, yet it is one of the most neglected. It performs over 500 functions. Despite its importance, the liver often develops silently, showing few or no symptoms until significant damage happens. The liver is the only organ that has capacity to regenerate itself. Dr. Mairai, the liver, the liver has the capacity to regenerate itself. But in our product called liver care, through curcumin, through dandelion, through artichoke, they have capacity to help the liver regenerate new cells. All of you here, if you're not using liver care, you're doing a disservice to yourself. The liver, by the time they tell you the liver has got a problem, kaput. In Uganda, it is only of late that we have got a transplant. They're even testing. Have you seen the news? We are getting the first liver transplant in Uganda. I was watching it on TV. They were telling us. Of course, this thing some of you know, but me, what makes liver disease particularly dangerous is its progressive nature. Inflammation may begin quietly. Inflammation means what? The body responds on its own. It is a good response. However, should it ever happen, the liver fighting on its own, you are taking alcohol like nothing. All the time you want to process things. All the time for you when you are going to eat, you are eating oily things. All the time you're eating fatty things. All the time you want those things. It fights. It fights. Time reaches and says enough is what? You must protect it. You help it. Who doesn't eat chips here? Who doesn't eat burgers here? Who doesn't eat meat here? Who doesn't? Where are you going to live? At one point, you eat them. But you must be conscious. Now, when I tell my clients, take liver care, it's going to help you on digestion. Someone was asking me, and you're giving me liver care. I said, let me teach you. I explained. They said, bring me 3. People are not going to give you their money. Watch. How does it come? You are having that problem of digestion because you have poor bile flow. You don't have proper bile flow. You have what they call bile metabolic disorder. Now, should you be having such symptoms, fatigue, jaundice, remember, the liver, once there is bile flow, it's not flowing very well. Yeah? The liver, the bile has been produced, is good. But the liver says, it must go away. So what the liver is going to do, excess of the bile, the liver is going to turn into another compound called bilirubin, and you excrete it through urine and fecal material. Dr. Mairai, bilirubin, songezo nazowezi. So, and we continue in Uganda, across sub-Saharan Africa, because I was doing an international presentation, I had to go through these statistics. I told them, ladies and gentlemen, in Uganda and across sub-Saharan Africa, liver diseases are growing public health concern. In Uganda, there is 1.5 million people who are already having that problem. And one of you might be in this room. Do you know how your liver is? Do you know the state of your liver? Some of you here, they will diagnose you with a liver problem, yet you say liver care here. Condition such as what affects the liver? What affects the liver? Viruses, infections. One of them is called viral hepatitis, metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease, and cirrhosis are increasingly affecting both younger and old population. 2025 bye tunda 2026 is what I'm saying. Every young and old, you are taking your children to school. You pack juices, you pack them sodas, you pack them burgers, you pack them everything. Deliver. You are our customer. Bibawe byonna anti, bibawe byonna. Gula soda, gula bichimu, everything. Buy all those sodas that you have as you're going back. Please do. But just know there is you have to pay the price. Factors such as chronic viral infection, alcohol consumption, poor dietary patterns, environmental toxins, and metabolic disorders continue to place enormous strain on the liver health. Abasajja aba Liver Health Foundation ne banyenya omutwe bati ne bagamba wamma ensonga zikuse. And I focus on nutrition. Ladies and gentlemen, to protect your liver, there is no magic pill. Because you have a liver care, it does not mean that you go and eat carelessly. You must matter about your nutrition. All of you here who are stayed here, you don't eat at your places. When did you last eat food at your place? Maybe during weekends, maybe during lunchtime. Who prepares your food? Simple as resting. When you reach at cirrhosis level, those guys of alcoholism, alcohol issues at cirrhosis level, you start getting pressure. Your pressure may come as a result of the metabolic disorder. Are you aware? Yes. At that level, you ought to gamble enough pressure. When you meet people, ladies and gentlemen, first teach them the diet. Many of you go for shortcuts. For me, where I was trained, they first taught us the food pyramid. You know food pyramid? Mbala muduka misinde. Na product. Muganda wange. You must lay a foundation. The food pyramid. What does the United States Department of Agriculture say about nutrition? You draw the food pyramid. You understand the whole grains. What are whole grains? They start with exercise. It's not running. When you wake up in the morning, how many of you know the exercise for blood pressure? Exercise for blood pressure. Okay, on my page I put it. When you wake up in the morning, everybody stand up. When you wake up in the morning, all those clients of yours that have high blood pressure, tell them to do this. Stretch your hands. The two of them. Put them in front. Collaborate. Space yourselves. Space yourselves. Space yourselves. Space yourselves. Chikole. You exercise your blood pressure for 10 minutes. Then you will imagine what do you want? We want blood to flow to the brain, to the heart. Are we together? Then they squat. Can you squat? Up, squat, up. That's the exercise, simple as that. Then from that, they go to the gym. Simple, you can have a seat. Togamba anga client wa ina high blood pressure tutulebe yuma ajja kuvayo omutima gwabiza gakwekwaase. Now, I was telling you, the first problem I was discussing is the metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease. Is the new name for what was previously called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Abasajja b'Ekibumba Foundation ne bagamba that is true. Nemba nyonyola embagamba ey'okubiri. And it describes the fatty build-up in the liver linked to metabolic processes such as obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol in people who drink little or no alcohol. All of you on the call, if you have a every high blood pressure client of yours should take liver care because you are already facing a metabolic disorder. I talk this with authority. All my clients have given, they are saying, hey. Number 2, which I explained, I'm discussing liver diseases. I have not yet reached the solution. I'm building up. When you go to people and you just show them your liver care, they say this another cells man has appeared. Me, I talk as a coach. Actually, I'm a coach. And when I talk to people, I don't beg you. That liver is your liver. Whether you buy it or how much is it? It is 147,000. Do you reduce? You don't reduce. It is expensive compared to what? Go and ask how much a liver transplant costs. You will come back and what's the dose? You are going to buy 12 tins of liver care for 3 months. It will cost you 1.7 million. Biometabolic disorder, also called bile acid synthesis disorders, are rarely inherited conditions in which the liver cannot properly convert cholesterol into bile. It's a rare condition, but it happens the years you have. Have you helped your liver? The liver is coming I am describing the bile. I started by describing for you. Since bile acids are essential for digesting the fats, absorbing fats, soluble vitamins, and removing excess cholesterol, their absence or imbalance leads to serious problems such as poor growth, vitamin deficiency, jaundice, and progressive liver damage. No, have you seen those photos of children? Young as 10, the biggest part on the body is the stomach. It is a metabolic disorder. Let me tell you, if you understand what they call metabolism, you are going to make lots of money. Every person you see has it, or it's going to come. Because we eat poor. With the coming of Sirimalini, how many of you have ever heard about Sirimalini? Sirimalini. How many of you have heard about Sirimalini? Sirimalini chenjogerako. What about milk fiso? It is in your product. Olabyo okumanya katabaka somye leero bibasubye. Alesi biddamu. This is my last training the entire year. Omako just training. But are you learning, friends? Yes. I've taken time to simplify this for you. So that when you go to a customer, you are in a position to learn. You know the past? Which means that let me tell you, Liver Health Foundation, they tested our products and they worked on people. And they invited us to come and test through one of our distributors called Mr. Mwanje. They said, we are going to put you in our magazine because your products are working, and we featured in this magazine. Wow. On the first, second page, under the Liver Health Foundation. And the Liver Care is doing wonders. Bakubuza yammeke ogamba biki byakibomba kola ku kibomba ekola etya ekikola ku kibomba. Any type of who is at the risk of metabolic disorder, even obesity, overweight, type 2 diabetes, every type 2 diabetic, liver care is a must. They are having insulin resistance. Their body is not responding to insulin. Are we together? Instead of going to the cells, sugar, the sugars, the liver says there's excess sugars. They turn it into what? Fats. You get a fatty liver. Every diabetic person, fatty liver. You have diabetes, but the liver also, you have it. You have what? Are you learning? High blood pressure. Every person of yours was high blood pressure. Metabolic disorder. High cholesterol. Unhealthy lifestyle. Poor diet. Inactivity. Gunomaka gonna Monday to Monday. Sigala ng'okomba chips. Sigala ng'okomba ekikomando. Sigala ng'obikomba. Sigala nga gwe byolya ekibumba kirali. You will pay the price. You will say, I have ulcers. That is why all my clients of ulcers, I first begin with liver care. There is a gentleman who came yesterday. He came on my table on the 23rd, and he told me, I have seen you on TikTok, but all of you, I have spent a lot of money, but you speak the same. Okay. I don't. Let me try your product. Ngenda kumira ntya. Ngenda kumira bolt ne bolt. Mbadde sifuluma emyaka 3 biki nfuluma obuntu bulinganga buki. Yesterday he came. He called me. I'm dying in far. Nimugambe eddagala likola guma. Likola. The father also called me. Wawadde omwana wange eddagala kale eddagala. Nimugamba muzeeyi eddagala likola mugambe agume. He called me yesterday. He came yesterday. I even put that short video recording him. He told me, mpulira bulungi. Enaku nnya his baba tebafuluma. One of the problems tebafuluma atuukayo nga mukaguka. Actually, people are waiting for me. I put a video for ulcers. You know what happened. I just explained a few things. Just I scared a little bit of them. It is a metabolic disorder. Bacteria. Yeah? In one of our products called milk thistle, is what's going to go and kill H. pylori. Milk thistle in liver care. Now, I took them through the genesis, the pathway, the pathogenesis. Pathogenesis means, how does this happen? You can't start with a trigger. A trigger is this one. Something starts the problem. It could be the genetics, infection, alcohol toxins, medication, metabolic imbalance. Think of this as a spark. As a what? Something is going to spark. I don't say you don't take out of alcohol. Take your alcohol. But overconsumption of what? Now, that statement I've said, if you say it on TikTok, they block your account. Never say it. Overconsumption of alcohol is going to prolong, not overconsumption, prolong the consumption of alcohol is going to lead to prolonged inflammation, which is going to cause a scar to harden your liver. And because your liver is hardened, they are going to develop an injury to the cells, and the fluids flow all the power into your body. Embaga no jiwulira. Cell injury chechino. The liver's working cells called hepatocytes get damaged. Because of that issue you're talking about, the liver has become hard. Your liver is supposed to be soft, but it's now hard. It makes a scar. Mubichenga, mwabichenga. Mwinzoga musida asomesa bicheri. Oh, ino biga bino wabyewa. Yewozo mumbaga bazikuba. Gwagambo jakola bino ebintu. Damaged cells can't do their normal jobs like detoxifying blood or producing bile. Now, once the cells are damaged, there will not be bile production. And once there's no bile production, there's poor digestion of what? Fats. You get what? To level 3 inflammation. The body's immune system reacts to the injury. Inflammation is meant to heal, but in the liver, it often worsens damage by attacking healthy cells too. You undergo what they call fibrosis. Fibrosis is there, and as damage, the liver tries to repair itself by laying it down in scar tissues. But as doing it, it makes scars. ngofuna fibrosis. The scar tissue replaces healthy tissues, making the liver stiffer and less efficient. At Okatawaru solution, we are the only ones with what removes the scar and prevents the scar. It's the selling point, which one? We are the only ones with an ingredient that prevents the scar to happen and removes the scar. It is called silimarin in liver care, found in milk thistle. Are we learning? Finally, because there is scar, you undergo the final stage called cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is the last stage. Cirrhosis is the last stage of chronic liver disease where normal liver tissue is replaced by scar tissue called fibrosis. The scarring is extensive and permanent, meaning the liver can no longer function properly. Think of it as the liver's architecture collapsing, the organ loses its normal function and efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, who remembers where I've come from? You remember where I've come? We have talked about the tissue. The liver is going to fight for its own and it's going to form a scar. And as it's formed the scar, the cells are going to be damaged. Ngofuna buno obulwadde bana balina risk eyo abakomba omwenge abali obubi abateebaka. Do you know not sleeping affects your body metabolism? Doctor, is it true? It's true. Okay, bino mujja bisoma. Consequences of cirrhosis: portal hypertension, increased pressure in veins leading to swollen veins in stomach and esophagus. Omuntu agamba I have high blood, I have ulcers. Kumbe kirumba tekirina obuzibu. Give someone liver care. It is the first line of treatment. Oboy obimanyi watu obimanyi mugambe liver care. Ajja kudda ngamba ebintu yobikola. Are we together? There's a product which I used to be in one of the companies I used to work in. I won't mention the product because I'm online. But they used to tell us, this product, whether you understand it or not, is the first thing you give a what? A customer. Kanange mbabirako. Every person you meet, buli agamba kino kinoma, metabolic disorder. Everybody say metabolic disorder. Metabolic disorder. Either the liver has a problem, bichi bile float aliwo, liver care. Era buli mulwadde wange gwenzijanjaba tutandikira ku liver care anko. Ate lwachompa. Ulcers ezinnuma, pressure yennuma, atompa kibumba. Ngamba anko, sola pressure. This is just a brand name. What happens, the mechanism of action, if you miss the mechanism of action, now, because of this one, there's going to be fluid build up in the abdomen in cirrhosis level. You are going to get jaundice, you're going to get toxins build up in the blood, cancer risk. And let me tell you, you visit Mulago Hospital and visit the liver department. You will come back and take liver care. Or people of liver care, abo bakasoma bagamba 17 musera. Ayagala ojimugambe eno yamitwala ataano. Alyoka agamba ebintu byambe bikola ki? Bikola. Abantu don't accept anybody to malign you. One of the things, I don't allow any customer to teach me the work I do every day. If he's a doctor, I can accept. But I also prepared for them. A customer who undermines you, mugambe ne simu yange, just switch them off. Don't accept anybody to malign you. You are selling one of the best products in the world. You have the solution that no company has. We are the only product. We are the ones with the only product that removes the scar and prevents the scar to happen that damages the cells of the liver. And someone is telling you, amanyi bana herbalist. I'm going to herbalist. To chidagamu. You a herbalist? I'm a herbalist. Who's herbalist? The good news is that the liver has a remarkable ability to generate and recover when supported early through lifestyle changes, medical care, and appropriate nutritional support. And Akata Wellness one member Gamba at Liver Care Foundation, Liver Health Foundation, and I told them the solution. They are waiting for it. And I put the slides. I told them we have a product called Liver Care. Liver what? Liver Care. And I gave them, you look at it. Now, the selling points are here. I'm introducing you the product called Liver Care. Its many ingredients called curcumin, which is a biochemical compound, and a turmeric. They remove the best aminosides. We remove the best. In turmeric, you can get so many things. But for us, we remove the best of the best called the curcumin in it. For you to get what is in one capsule of Liver Care, you need to get a whole sack of turmeric to get what is in one capsule of Liver Care. Temanyi Liver Care. Nemuta kubana mungalo bantu mwe. Muli babinyi. Bayamba somesa nsulambi. Mbisulambi soma. Because if you don't understand these products, let me tell you, you not build a network. You not build a network. If you cannot explain the products, the mechanism of action, people will join and throw away the products ignorantly. Are we together? They don't know what they are throwing away. This product is FDA certified, lab tested, non-GMO. There are certain caps in it from USA, United States of America. And I tell you my price I want. Now, in this product, we said that the liver is facing inflammation. You remember? Are you tired? You remember? Yes. Curcumin reduces inflammation of the nerves, that's particularly, but most importantly, it improves on insulin sensitivity. So that sugars, blood glucose, they enter into the what? Blood glucose. Glucose enters into the what? The cells. So that we stop fat build up. And once we stop fat build up, we shall not get a fatty liver. Yes, give me that product. And all of us, we are vulnerable to insulin resistance. Ladies and gentlemen. Then you go to Dandelion. Dandelion in Liver Care has the capacity to help on the bile flow. That's the only point I want there. This one, remember? Bile flow? Muchijukira. Wachi musidikanga mbabuza. It has talaxin which supports liver function by increasing bile flow from the liver, helping to relieve the liver and gallbladder disorders. Any person who has a bile disorder, gallbladder change, because once bile is produced, it's stored in the gallbladder. What's going to help? Dandelion. What customers want, they want mechanism of action. Kino chimpali kigenda kukola ki? Gwe kwata yo point is this product has what they call Dandelion, which is going to increase on bile flow and it's going to help you on any disorder regarding what they call gallbladder disorder. It also has curcumin, which is going to help on insulin sensitivity and it removes the insulin resistance. That's the reason. When I mentioned those points, we are going to come one day. The Liver Care Foundation, the executive director called me. I'm having an executive meeting with him. They want to put Liver Care to be an essential drug. Those are other things to discuss later. It has what they call anti-choke. Liver Care has the anti-choke. But the most important part it has what they call chlorogenic acid, which inhibits that enzyme and reduces the liver's ability to produce cholesterol. Those people with fatty liver, you tell them anti-choke. This is the mechanism of action. The other one is called milk thistle. In milk thistle, what I want on milk thistle specifically is on removing the scar. It is the one that removes the scar. That milk thistle you are seeing. So every person you're going to meet, you tell them in milk thistle, there is what they call silimarin, which removes and stops the liver to make a scar and removes the scar, which damages cells and it makes fluids flow into the abdomen. Fe tubirina fekka. Buli client wo yenna olwaleero mugambe njagala kusomesaayo points engizo olwaleero. Nange ne mbagamba thank you. Thank you for listening. With that, you're going to sell. To make a recap about liver care and liver diseases, there are 3 main diseases of the liver. There are so many of them, but I focused on 3. Remind me the first one. The first one. Bile metabolic disorder or dysfunction. Number 2, metabolic dysfunction associated steatotic liver disease. In bracket, fatty liver disease. How do we get the liver disease? Because of insulin resistance. When there is insulin resistance, what happens? There is no breakdown of fats. Instead, there is formation of fats. And because there is excess sugars in the bloodstream, and the body is not responding to insulin, the body says it's not going, the liver comes very fast, and instead, it turns the excess sugars into fats, and you get a fatty liver. Because of your liver getting extreme stress over a long period of time, including viruses, infection, to mention but a few, alcoholism, especially prolonged alcoholism, your liver fights itself to defend, and in that process, it makes a scar, which runs into fibrosis. Because it goes into fibrosis, the liver functionality slows down. What slows down? Bile flow, bile production is affected, which is important for digestion of what? Fats. Are we together? Are we together? Yes. Today, we are having our CEO address. All of you here, go to your groups and mobilize your people. I get embarrassed when we have to remind you, please log in, please log in, please log in. You want a CEO to come and address 20 people. My vice president is always saying, you post, I come. I also post to remind you on a business you make money from. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you do. People offline. Go and write every downline of yours and call them. Today, we have a Zoom meeting for the CEO. End of your address. Please attend. If you don't have data, please buy data 1 GB for your downline. Mugambe, attend. People will give you those excuses. Mugambe, if there's anything you can do, I see some of you are going to be inviting guests here. Please use this 1 hour, all of you, and invite people. As a country manager, I don't want to see Uganda. Uganda, we are the leaders. We are the company originates from Uganda. And there are no people on the call. But you find someone on time of the call who is recording a TikTok video on Kurabe. Nkusange kulaivu ya TikTok nga tuantu. Nsijja kunyegaywa your own boss naye tombuuza. On a serious, that's how for me I communicate. Can we attend the CEO's meeting, friends? Can you mobilize your team? Are you going to mobilize them? Yes. The meeting, let us be there 30 minutes before. Networkers of Okata, you have been, I don't know what's happened. You were sluggish. Everything is sluggish. You don't keep time. Everything, not all of you, but please. You know the Zoom starts at 8. What time is it starting?